Hey guys, welcome to the True Blue Riffcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Dave. My name is Christine DeBelle, but many of you know me as Susan from A Talking Cat. And as you know, I have to go and get my cheese puffs out of the oven. So have a great time with Jeremy and Dave. See you soon.
Thanks, Christine. This is indeed the True Blue Riffcast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
Sup, I'm Dave. Nice to see everybody.
Nice.
My energy fell off a cliff like an hour ago. So
that's okay, because I just realized I forgot to have up our starting soon screen, so it was literally just us sitting there the whole time. Well, me going into the other room to blow my nose, so I wasn't doing it on camera, which is a good thing because it would have been on camera.
So everybody saw me panicking, like, where is Jeremy? I was like asking where you were, but like I was on mute. So like no one could hear me. I was like, Jeremy, where did you go? Oh no, this is bad. But well, life goes on, right?
Yeah. No, I just had some bears in the cave that I had to go take care of off camera.
Bears in the cave?
Bears in the cave, yeah.
What does that mean?
Boogers.
Is that a parenting thing?
Boogers in the nose.
Is that a parenting thing I don't know about?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah. So what have you been up to, Dave? We won't get into that because Dave's having more wonderful car
I just got a news alert. House GOP picks a new nominee. Really? Well, that's going to work out great, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will.
But we don't talk about that here.
No. I've been spending the last few days playing Super Mario Wonder, which is pretty dang enjoyable. Yeah, because I see you finally got a Switch.
I've had one since like March. Yeah. I got it so I could play. I got it on the advice of our good friend Edgy Berserker.
Woo!
And I got it so I could play Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. Yeah, so that's what I've been using it for.
Nice.
And I may or may not have gotten Mario Odyssey, and
may
or may not have thought that it was extremely overrated and didn't finish it.
Well, how far did you get? Because it might have happened, yeah. Knowing you, I guess I'm not too surprised.
Well, I really love Mario. I do. But Mario Odyssey, it wasn't really doing a lot for me. Like, it's like, well, this is, I don't know. But Mario Wonder, now at first I was like, the level design was kind of pissing me off a little bit. Because it's just like, okay, these aren't like Mario levels. These are just like big wide open areas. So like all their crazy psychedelic stuff can happen. Yeah. And also the characters all play identically, which is like, okay, what's the point of this?
It's just who you won't choose to not play as somebody because they don't play the same as the character that you're used to. That's my guess.
Right,
anyway.
I understand that, but like, okay, so like, what's the point? Now I'm coming around. I'm gonna put it back over because like I'm just like the early levels were just like this doesn't feel like New Super Mario Brothers Wii or New Super Mario Brothers U, or even Super Mario 3D World, which is an excellent game.
Yes, it is.
But I was just like, I don't know. I think this might be a miss. But then I think it's like what's that land called? The Fluff
Mountains.
Yeah, the second one.
Or Peaks, Puff Peaks or something.
Yeah. The level that you play to access the special levels.
Yeah.
There's basically just like it's like a time thing. It actually plays like a Mario level, and like now I'm in like the more difficult levels, which is like, okay, this feels like a Mario game. So it's starting to win me over, but it's just like at first I wasn't a fan, and also those talking flowers really. But then I found out you could mute them, and I did. So
I've been enjoying the game. Not as much. I really enjoy it. It's super adorable in certain scenes. There's an early game where after you get the Wonder Flower, which is like the new thing, the new gimmick in this one,
Wonder Seed, yeah.
Where all of the piranha plants on the level start like marching and singing, and like everything like comes to life and starts like singing along, and I don't know, it's just super adorable.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely some challenging stuff later.
I think this game is definitely leaned into the kid stuff with this game.
I think they leaned into this game being able to just be fun. Anybody can go through whatever level at your own pace, which is kind of nice. Because I can still play it frantically like I do every other Mario game, and trying to rush through the levels because that's how I'm used to playing it. But my 9-year-old can pick it up, and she can play as one of the Yoshis or that dumb little Nabbit guy, and go through a level without worrying about running out of time. She doesn't have to worry about dying because, like, if you get hit by a guy and you're Yoshi or Nabbit, you don't take any damage. You just kind of can keep going. And I think that was kind of a neat decision on their part. The other thing I really appreciate about this game is the fact that they didn't have a deadline when they were making this game. They let the devs work at their own pace and basically do what they want with the game, and not like Miyamoto wasn't standing there over them like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. It was just like, make a game. He would check on it from time to time, like, this is great, keep it up. And I think that's really cool because they weren't like cramming to get it done, like a lot of the AAA big studios.
Oh yeah, and then you had like 10,000 patches.
Yeah, they make them work and not take a break until it's done, and like you have to be done by this time, and it has to be done this way, and you're gonna stay here and you're gonna work all night for 3 days straight until we say, okay, you can go home and sleep for a couple hours, but then you're coming back and you're working on this for the next 4 days again. So that's kind of nice that they didn't do that, as some publishers are known to do in the industry.
My sister is a dev, and she says it's a little bit like that, but she works from home.
Yeah. But the game that I've been enjoying the most that came out this last week, because there were a lot of games. Oh yeah,
there's been a bunch
week.
Of games coming out this.
There was the new Sonic game, which harkens back to the older Sonic games and not like the more recent ones, which haven't been great. There's of course
Sonic
Spider-Man.
Really good.
Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5, which my son has been playing all weekend. There's I don't have a PS5. I didn't have a PS4, so I didn't really get into Spider-Man. And even though they looked really fun, and I like Spider-Man games, but I can't play it, so it doesn't bother me. Of course, Jackbox Party Pack 10 came out last week, which is pretty fun. But they all pale in comparison to the game that Joy and I have both been playing, and she's actually out playing it right now. And that is Suika game, which is a little indie game created over in Japan, was released only in Japan, started taking the internet by storm, and they did a surprise release of it in the U.S. on Friday, and it's literally just this little. It's like a match 2 physics-based puzzle game, where you have different fruits and you drop them in this like bag or box or something, and Betty found one of her squeaky toys, and you try and match them all the way up till you get to like a watermelon or whatever, and it's just a relaxing and surprisingly stressful game at the same time, but it's a lot of fun, and I've already dumped hours into it.
How is that possible?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't get it. It is relaxing and stressful at the same time. Because it's hard to explain.
I'll have to take your word for it.
It's hard to explain. If you guys go back into the streaming VOD library for my channel here, it was the last game I streamed yesterday. I streamed it yesterday. So you can check some footage of it and see me getting angry over this cutesy little fun game. But yeah, I think we're here to talk about movies and not video games.
Yeah,
so.
we're here to talk about after we've been talking for 15 minutes about video games.
So why don't we move on? Let's take a look at the weekend box office. Of course, the number one movie for the weekend, again, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour. Number 2, brand new movie opening last weekend, Killers of the Flower Moon. Then The Exorcist.
What is that?
Believer. I think it's a new Scorsese movie.
Okay.
It's like a crime drama thing. I know it's got Leo in it.
That dude's like 100. Is he just gonna be making movies till he's dead?
Yeah, basically. Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, and then the 30th anniversary re-release of The Nightmare Before Christmas came in at number 5 with $4.2 million.
Stop flaming, you preps. That's what I think of now whenever I think of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
So there's your weekend box office. No big surprises there, really. I mean, it's
Ebony Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way is what I think of. What I think of Nightmare Before Christmas. Google it.
The new movie number 1 going to be this weekend is probably going to be the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which opens up on Friday, which I didn't even think of when I agreed to Friday being my first day back at the movie theater. Another PG-13 horror movie where I'm going to be dealing with kids on their phones and all kinds of crap, but that's okay because that was part of the job that I enjoyed taking care of. So yeah, there's your weekend box office. Nothing special. Of course, there's not really much going on in the world of movies right now, other than
the strike.
Still on strike, and they're still trying to get some things straightened out. So since we don't really have anything there to talk about, before we have one more thing to talk about before we get to Citizen Yarn.
What are we calling it when you're in the dock?
I enjoyed going in and kicking them out of the theater.
Oh, okay.
That's what I enjoyed. I just had someone said you enjoyed dealing with middle schoolers on their phones.
Oh, we have people listening.
Yeah, it's real easy to do that when you have a couple really big security guards. But yes, kicking them out of the theater, that was one of my favorite things to do, and it's going to be again when I go start back at the theater on Friday. Of course,
they miss you, Jeremy?
Yes, they did. They were very mad that I left, and they were very excited when I contacted them to go back. So now we have one more thing to talk about before RiffTrax. After this, though, we have one big piece of news to talk about, and we're probably going to waste at least another 15 minutes talking about that other thing. But first, we have to take a look and see what the hell James Wan is doing. And,
do we have to?
On October 23rd...
Oh, Citizen Yarn. Hi, Citizen Yarn.
He posted the United Nations Conference Climate Change, COP28. Dear COP28, please add and implement climate fix to the COP28 agenda so that we get back that not-mole weather, the Garden of Paradise. Best regards, James Wen, climate activist, climatefix.earth.
What?
Climatefix.earth. Oh, that just
you
takes
made
it
that
to...
up. Is that real?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It takes us to his little short thing that he made called Climate Fix on YouTube.
What?
And then the next one from 5 hours ago. He tweeted this one 5 hours ago. I'm gonna hang on. Let me bring this up so I can show everybody right here. Share. So this is the COP28 agenda, November 30th through December 12th. How come there is no the fix agenda for climate change, global warming? How come there is no climate fix agenda? Please add climate fix to COP28, climatefix.earth, COP28.com.
Okay, guys, look, we're not making fun of James Wen because he's an environmentalist or because, look, if the environment is your thing, if you like clean air and clean water and all, that's fine.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
We're not mocking him for that. I don't. I hate the environment. But if you do, it's your thing. I'm not going to judge you. But that's not why we're making fun of James Wan. We're making fun of him because he's an idiot.
Yeah, because he's James Wan. Like that's it. If you've listened to the podcast at all for a while, you know Dave's background with James and why we're not fans of that person, but so we're not going to get into that anymore. But we have something else to get into before RiffTrax.
Oh yeah, we do. People might not like us for this.
Well, people definitely aren't going to like us for this.
Well, I've already been excommunicated from the Misty community, so I'll say whatever I want.
I kind of have too, but
yeah.
So here we go. Once again. I think they started this today. I'm pretty sure this went up today. They started the fundraising for season 14 of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep.
Now
another fundraising.
This time, they're not using Kickstarter. They're not using Indiegogo.
I don't think they used Kickstarter last time.
I don't remember what they used. I didn't participate, so I don't know. Some guy literally just contributed $3,040. Like that just popped up. $3,040. Somebody just donated that. One person.
Oh. That is a lot of money.
So they've started a new fundraising campaign for the next season of Mystery Science Theater 3000, which they are now doing on their own. They started it with season 13, where they needed, it was like $11 million or something ridiculous, because they wanted to
they're building their app.
Build their app to stream on their own. The Gizmoplex,
yeah.
And this year, you know what? I'm just going to bring this up because I can. If I can find the button here on this screen. This is what they're looking for this year. $4.8 million for 6 VODs, 6 shorts, and 18 remasters of old Mystery Science Theater episodes. Their top goal and what they're aiming for, though, is $7.4 million for 12 VODs. Oh, absolutely.
They're going to get that.
They absolutely will get that. The problem I have with them doing their fundraising on their own site is the fact that they do not have a running total of what they have received. There's little pop-ups, and you guys will see them up on here, and I hate that they come up because we don't need to show what people are giving. But I don't like that they're not being transparent about that, especially when they're asking for this much money. That bothers me a little bit. But the other thing is, what did you figure the math, like $616,000 per episode or whatever?
If you round it up to the nearest thousand, it's if they get their $7.4 million for season 14 for each episode, forget about the shorts and forget about the remasters, because who cares?
Yeah,
it's gonna be 12 episodes. Every episode is gonna get roughly about $617 million. Not million, thousand. $617,000.
1% of this is going to maintenance and consulting fees for the Gizmoplex itself.
Yeah.
And 5% of this is going to campaign fees, which is what they're going to lose for this website hosting them, even though I thought this was their own website, so I don't get that part of it either, but it's a little much, guys. That's the problem that we both have with it.
Yeah, that is a lot of money for 12 riffs.
Yeah. Now, I did confirm today that it is actually way less than that per VOD for RiffTrax to fully produce. There's from licensing to the final production. It is way less.
So. Yeah.
It is way less than that.
There's
so that's
absolutely no way that, Now,
that's
guys,
the other
if you like
confusing
the revival,
thing to me.
what's that?
I said that's the other thing that's confusing to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Why
So,
it costs
guys,
so
if
much
you
more.
like the revival, if the revival is your thing, that's fine. There's no moral judgment on this end if you like the revival. The thing is that revival is not my thing, and I know it's not Jeremy's thing. We gave it a chance, and we both decided that like we don't like this.
Yeah, we both gave it a fair shake.
Yeah, we did.
And
in fact,
we went into it wanting to like it.
Yes. Now I kind of feel like I gave it more chances than I should have because, me being who I am and who I was in the fandom, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I kind of felt an obligation to support it, but it just ended up not being my thing. And I think that Joel, I don't think that he realizes that MST3K isn't as culturally relevant as it was 30 years ago. The revival, when it was on Netflix, it didn't generate the new viewership that they wanted it to. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. The Misty RiffTrax fandom, we're an aging fandom. We're not getting a whole lot of new people to replace us. And like when we go, it's done. It's over. Which, is fine. But I think that Joel doesn't realize that he's really in a more niche, almost cottage industry for movie riffing. And I just look at like how much money that he wants, and I don't know how he justifies $617,000 per episode. Especially like you look at season 1 of the revival, aka season 11, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
And man, they raised $6 million. I don't know what they spent that money on. Like I think like people say, well, maybe it was the celebrity appearances. Like I don't know. Like if you get Jerry Seinfeld,
that could have been like
but at the same time, we made a joke when we were talking about, or I made a joke about when we were talking about Mortal Kombat, the 2021 movie, when it was $90 million. I said they could have made 3 episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 for that. But like, I guess I would just like to know why it costs that much money to make this show. I don't think it costs that because, okay, Star Trek Picard season 3, I looked it up. Patrick Stewart said that in an interview somewhere that Star Trek Picard season 3 cost somewhere between $8 and $9 million for 10 episodes of this sprawling sci-fi epic that was this great big revival of Star Trek: The Next Generation that was going to send the cast of the TNG off into the sunset and give it the epic send-off that it deserved. And it did that. It absolutely did that. But I did the math, and it anywhere from $800,000 to $900,000 an episode, which is, obviously more than an episode of MST3K.
But not by a lot.
Yeah, not by Hollywood standards, not by very much. And if you look at this, if you look at that show, and you look at Star Trek Picard season 3, like, are they comparable? I don't think they are. Like I don't know. I guess I'll just say it again. I just want to know why it costs that much money to produce this show that I hate to say it is like I don't think it costs that much to make this show.
No. So I don't see how it could.
I would like to know what they are spending this money on.
Because they're not really doing anything that's too far above and beyond what RiffTrax is doing. I mean, it's the same thing minus a few host segments, and I know the cost of those are not going to be raising the price per episode up that high.
Yeah. And I have some theories, but I don't want to get too mean.
Yeah.
So
it just seems like it's a little bit too much.
It's way too much. Way too much money for that show. I don't want to say it's not worth it, but I know it doesn't cost that much. I mean, like, I can't prove it, but we're not in a court of law. So I'll say it. It doesn't cost that much to make this show.
Well, and going by other programs of the same thing, it doesn't cost anywhere near that
guys,
much.
Okay, at the end of the day, I know we're all Misties. That's what we all at least started as.
Yeah.
I think we can all admit that at the end of the day, it is a silly puppet show.
Yep.
And does not cost $100,000 more than $500,000 for one episode. No. It does not.
It absolutely should not.
No. But that's my piece.
We do have one more thing to get to before our RiffTrax, and that's Name That Jeremy.
Yo, is it Name That Jeremy? Is that what
Name That Jeremy? Well, last week
is that what we're calling it? When it's you?
When it's your turn, Dave That Riff. When it's my turn, Name That Jeremy. I don't know. It's dumb,
okay, cool.
but I like it.
All right. So you were like, what, 18 for 20? You did amazingly well.
17 or 18, yeah, somewhere around there. I got lucky on a bunch of them.
I don't know if these are more difficult, but I try to make it a little more difficult because I think maybe I went a little easy on you though. I don't know, but
and there's always a possibility.
In fact, these are all ones from their okay. So, are you ready?
Sure. Let's do this.
Right, cool. So, first one is from 2018.
Okay.
And it's a riff.
I'm
William Shatner.
Oh, instead of a quote. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, a riff? Of course it's a riff. What is he talking about?
Yeah. It's either gonna be a riff or a quote. Okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. From 2018. I'm William Shatner crossed with DeForest Kelley, if that helps.
That's the riff?
That's the riff.
I'm William Shatner. Let's see, 2018. And this is a VOD?
Yes.
Okay.
I should have said that, sorry.
That's okay.
So Mike, Kevin, Bill riff, if that helps. It doesn't.
2018. I think there was one that was a sequel to a riff that you absolutely hated that came out in 2018. So we're gonna go with that just because I'm gonna say Oblivion 2 Backlash.
That is incorrect, sir.
Okay.
You want a clue?
Yes, give me the first clue.
First clue is this movie primarily takes place in California. Primarily.
In California.
Yeah. Or it's at least shot in California. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. 2018. Shot in California. 2018. Shot in California. Oh, man. Let's see what else came out that year. I mean, obviously we had... I can't. I'm going to say Spiker. I can't think of anything else at this point.
It is Spiker.
Spiker.
It is Spiker. The second clue was there's a lot of volleyball and soup in this movie.
Soup Plantation.
So is that was just a blind guess, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think of stuff that would have taken place in California that could have had that.
So the riff was in reference to the coach. They're doing like a montage, and the coach is going around talking to all the volleyball players. And Mike is like, "I'm William Shatner, crossed with DeForest Kelley, if that helps."
I was it was between that and a talking cat because I know that's like out in California.
Yeah, that's the other one. Okay.
And but I didn't remember that riff from that movie, so.
Okay. So you're 1 for 1. All right.
Okay.
So this next one is VOD from 2015.
2015. Right.
One of the best years of RiffTrax. As long as you don't turn into a werewolf, those things are vile.
As long as you don't turn into a werewolf, those things are vile.
Well, I'll say it the way it said in the movie. As long as you don't turn into a werewolf, those things are vile.
Now, was that a quote or a riff?
That's a riff.
I don't turn into a werewolf. Those things are vile. Man. 2015. Was this a VOD again?
Yeah, VOD.
I am drawing an absolute blank. Give me the first clue.
First clue is this movie was shot in Canada. Sorry, these clues aren't very helpful.
2015, shot in Canada. Oh, man.
I mean, you pulled the first one out of your behind. So.
I know. I'm trying to think. Man, I don't even have a guess for this one. Go ahead. Give me the last clue.
Okay. So the last clue is this movie stars rock and roll legend Meatloaf.
Oh, God. To Catch a Yeti.
This was To Catch a Yeti. That's right. They were talking to a
Filmed
woman
in Canada.
with an accent in
yeah, the weird European accent lady.
Yeah, word European lady, not the wife. I guess I don't know, but obviously this is a reference to the MST3K classic Werewolf.
Yeah.
As long as you don't turn into a werewolf. All right. So
I should have had that one.
Yeah, because that is one of your. Well, I don't want to say one of your. I mean, I don't know. Is To Catch a Yeti one of your favorites?
I mean, it's upper echelon ish.
Yeah, it's A tier.
Yeah, A tier definitely.
Gosh, I should never have started appearing on the podcast because all I want to do is mess with my hair. Like, oh, I'm so pretty.
It's like putting a mirror in front of a parrot. Yeah,
it's like, well, all I want to do is be like, oh, just like admire myself. So this was 2017 VOD.
Okay.
And here it is. This is they were all riffs this time. I tripped up 5 flights of stairs and landed here.
Oh my God.
I tripped and fell 5 flights of stairs and landed here.
I feel like I should know this one.
You
should. It's familiar to me. Oh, tripped up 5 flights of stairs. And you said that's 2017.
Yeah.
2017.
I'll say it like they say it in the movie.
Yeah.
I tripped and fell up 5 flights of stairs and landed here. So it's Dumb Guy. And that's a clue I shouldn't have given you.
A dumb guy. I mean, most of the movies that they do, the lead of the movie is the dumb guy. So, like...
Yeah.
5 flights of stairs. Oh, God. 2017. What the hell came out in 2017? See, this is where I have the problem, is the years that they came out. Because, like, ever since
you don't
COVID,
maintain
like, at all...
RiffTrax wiki, so...
Yeah, like, time has no meaning to me anymore, so, like, years and dates kind of mean nothing to me. God, 2017. What the hell came out in 2017?
Lots of good stuff came out in 2017. Remember the bear thing?
Yeah, that was 2017.
I'll give you one clue. This movie does not have a bear in it.
Well, that's only about half of them.
Yeah. I'm giving you all kinds of clues. Yeah, you haven't even asked for the first clue yet.
I know. God, I know this riff, and if I don't get it, I'm going to feel so dumb. I'm going to feel like you after not getting the House on Haunted Hill one.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Well, that's your all-time favorite,
Yes,
you
yes,
should.
I know. I don't think this is your all-time favorite, though. I would be surprised if it is.
Well, you know my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Give me the first clue. Give me the first clue.
This movie takes place in California.
Oh my God. It's not a good clue, Dave. Two of your clues have been about California.
I've given you a bunch of clues.
I know. Okay, let's see. Think, Jeremy. Think. I'm gonna start pulling a Winnie the Pooh. Think. Oh man. All right. 2017, California. Come on, man. You got to get this. It takes place in California?
Takes place in California.
And it's a VOD.
It's a VOD. It's very iconic VOD.
Very iconic VOD.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. I just had two pop into my head. No, it's not that one, because obviously that doesn't take place in California. Samurai Cop.
Wrong.
Oh, damn.
That quote is made by our... the last clue.
I need the last clue at least.
Yeah, okay. But remember our rules, the last clue.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It
doesn't. Yeah, I'm done after this one. Anyway,
okay.
I just want to know what the clue is.
Yeah. This was the most recent RiffTrax release from director James Wen.
Oh, God.
So this was clearly...
It would have been Replica.
Replica.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was a mic line uttered after Joe, was he a software salesman in this? I don't even remember.
I think so.
After he stalks Claudia,
he was an
back to her
actual
hotel
software
room.
salesman.
Yeah,
He sold the chips.
He stalked Claudia, the clone, back to her hotel, and he knocks on the door, and the clone opens the door. She's like, "It's you. How dare you follow me here?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." And then Mike says, "I tripped and fell up 5 flights of stairs and landed here."
It lives. Replica. Claudia.
Now, I did do something a little bit mean.
What's that?
On this. I want it because I know sometimes Jeremy will watch RiffTrax on my account for stuff that I have that he doesn't. And I suspected that maybe because I was pulling quotes directly from the RiffTrax site for the last one, and I thought that maybe he saw, because they'll have like continue watching and they'll like list what you've watched recently but not finished.
Oh, I see. No,
that's a way you can
actually
cheat.
don't.
That's cheating. You can't do that. That's against the rules.
Yeah,
I'll be like, I'm gonna catch him and I'm gonna call him out. Well, not call him out, but just be like, I'm gonna throw him off. So I pulled those videos from YouTube. I pulled those quotes from YouTube, but I went to the RiffTrax site before I went and told you that I had your quotes for you.
Yeah.
And I queued up and went to the middle so that they would populate and continue watching. Riffs that like fit all these clues. That's why these clues were shot in California.
Is there just a thing that you can bring it up that just says continue watching?
So, but like
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Off.
I watch all my stuff through Plex
Talking
anyway.
Cat, Rock and Roll Nightmare, and Day of the Animals. So if you guess any of those three, that's what I knew. It was going to be like, aha, gotcha.
Yeah.
But
I pull most of my quotes. I pulled from the trailers for the riffs.
Really?
Yeah. There were a few that I didn't, but most of them were from the trailers. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess we should actually talk about our RiffTrax movie now. After
so you were 1 for 3, right?
Yeah, I didn't do as good this time. You were 2 for 3 last time, so.
Yeah, so
So today we're going to be discussing the RiffTrax release of the 1984 television film adaptation of Samson and Delilah. Unfortunately, this was not the 1940 whatever Cecil B. DeMille version of the movie.
Yes,
which probably would have been a lot more entertaining.
That would, dude. When I saw this, because okay, so guys, I love biblical epics. I mean, that's probably going to surprise a lot of people, but they're my thing. The Ten Commandments is, I've seen that movie more than any movie I have in my life. When I was a young baby man, we lived in Israel because my dad's a biblical archaeologist. We actually climbed Mount Sinai, and we would, before we would go down with his students, is that they would show the Ten Commandments in this big screening room in the BYU Jerusalem Center there in Jerusalem, obviously, which is where we lived. And so that movie and movies like it, I'm that's my thing. Yeah. And and so Cecil B. DeMille also did another biblical epic before he did the Ten Commandments called Samson and Delilah. He did that in 1948 or 1949.
It's somewhere
and it
around
stars
there.
it stars actually stars. Interesting thing about that movie, and it connects to this movie that we're going to watch, is the guy Victor Mature played Samson, and Victor Mature is in this movie. He plays the father of Samson, so there's a connection.
Very interesting.
In 1940, it was very star-studded. It starred Angela Lansbury as Samson's first wife that dies. So it's now, I am all for, in fact, I have advocated for, in fact, there's an article on fandom.com written by yours truly of movies we want RiffTrax to dig into. And I said, I've always wanted RiffTrax to do the Ten Commandments. Not because I think it's bad, because they did Lord of the Rings and The Wizard of Oz. They can do great movies.
Yeah.
And not and just have it be a fun time. You're watching your favorite movie with the guys from RiffTrax. And to me, that's the holy grail of movie riffing, is for RiffTrax to riff the Ten Commandments. But they've never done biblical epics until now. I do epics in quotes because, man, this one they must have got for $5 because it is terrible.
Interesting fact about Victor Mature. His last film role was Samson and Delilah.
Yeah.
And then he died of leukemia.
Well, I mean, that's
You're welcome.
I'm not going to say that's a good fate, but some of the people in this movie didn't meet great fates.
Man. Yeah, like Samson himself, Anthony Hamilton. I'm going to talk about him. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about him a little bit. Because he could have had an extremely interesting career. But we'll get there when we get there. This movie also has Max von Sydow in it as
Max von Sydow.
As Sitka.
It also what's stunned me about this movie. It has the cast is just you look at the cast, look at some of the names on there. It says Jose Ferrer. Jose Ferrer is the high Philistine clerics, and he shares a scene with Max von Sydow in this movie.
Yeah,
Jose Ferrer, the father of Miguel Ferrer and uncle of George Clooney, was nominated, won Best Actor in 1950. And he was in the Caine Mutiny. He was the lawyer in the court martial in the Caine Mutiny. He got to throw wine in Fred McMurray's face, and he's in this piece of crap.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting movie. And who else? I think we would
Daniel
be remiss
Stern.
We
have to talk about Daniel Stern. Yeah, one of the Wet Bandits. And, of course, the narrator for The Wonder Years, which they do make a great joke about. When
go
they
narrate
tell him
a
to go narrate a
12-year-old
12-year-old. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Now, the one of the other things that I found out in doing research is that this movie is not based on the account in the Book of Judges, which when you start watching the movie, you're like, okay, clearly, like this is not biblically accurate.
No.
Except for like a couple of things where I'm just like, okay, why are they doing this? Like that thing with the riddle and the 30 garments, that is in the Book of Judges. But that's like such a hard thing to like depict. You would think like, why this of all things in that story are they depicting this? Because number one, it's not interesting.
No,
And it's
not
like
at all.
kind of hard. It's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, all he did, all they did that for was to show him beating up the garrison of soldiers,
Yeah.
and then pulling the post out of the ground.
Yeah, so he could be like a really strong man, but this is actually based on a novel, and by some British novelist who obviously took many liberties with the story of Samson and Delilah, which is like, it's like 5,000 words long in the Bible.
Based on
Like people think the Bible is long.
1962
The Bible is not that long, everybody.
The 1962 novel "Husband of Delilah" by Aaron Linklater.
And I guess one of the biggest differences between the novel and this movie and the biblical account is the the role for Delilah was changed. She's much more sympathetic and not just this harpy who seduces Samson and cuts his hair and he dies. But I think one of the more interesting things about Samson himself is that he's the Israelite equivalent of Heracles or Hercules in like that tradition. Yeah. In fact, many biblical scholars, they're not even sure. I mean, like you can we're not getting to discussion about like whether or not things in the Bible actually happened, but whether or not like if it's like not Hercules, but Samson is like Job, where it was like a story that somebody was telling, or if people who wrote the Bible purport that this is history, that this happened. So it's unclear if the story of Samson is at least among scholars is like something say like, yes, this happened, or no, this is a story that somebody was telling.
Hey, I mean, at least he beat up the guys with the jawbone of an ass.
Yeah, the jawbone like a huge ass.
While the lightning is striking all around him, and
so like, what I mean, like, do we need to talk about like the story? I mean, like everyone kind of knows the story of Samson and Delilah.
I mean,
I think
okay, Samson was strong. The whole thing behind it was he was not allowed to cut his hair. Or he would lose his strength, and so she cuts his hair. And then he gets captured. Yeah, that's the overall gist of it.
But I think like okay, so like in the movie, like they it starts off and like the army and Daniel Stern is like the garrison commander, and they like Samson is getting married to whoever. Some Philistine woman, and they go in and they like play a prank on him. They act like they're gonna like tear his house down and take him away, and instead they just like throw him in. It's like a bachelor party thing, where they like throw him in the river and they're hazing him basically. It sounds like, my parents thought that we were all gonna die. you scamps.
Yeah.
So, thanks a lot, Daniel Stern.
I think was it Deborah? Was that who he was marrying the first time? Was that her name?
I can't recall how the girl's name is said right now. I'll have to hang on. I can probably tell you in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I want. Dang it. I forgot that I'm on my phone and not my laptop where all my notes are. Is it not Samson? Idiot. Samson.
Samson.
And I want the 1984 movie. Live hot Wikipedia action, everybody.
Woo.
Whatever, screw it. It's the same. I'll just bring it up in the 1949 movie. And Angela Lansbury is Semidar. I guess her name is. But yeah.
Okay,
So,
I was just trying to figure out who it was that played her.
Oh, I don't know. Just random actress lady. But now here's kind of like where I was a little bit confused in the movie. Was Max von Sydow, the power of Christ compelled you? Was he jealous of Samson like early on? Like I think Delilah was like, "Oh, he's a hottie McHot pants. I would like to take him to bed and cut his hair." And like was like I think was Max von, like I was so confused. Like, is Max von Sydow jealous of Samson, and that's why he wants to kill him? That's why they killed. Oh yeah, they killed Daniel Stern later on. Everybody.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like it was like he wanted Delilah, but then she sees Samson, and
she's like, oh yeah,
this guy's like young and muscly and not old and rankly, and I want to get with the hottie and not the naughty, and yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then he embarrassed them with the whole 30 the riddle for the 30 garments.
The riddle thing, which did not that did not play. Like that's where the movie lost me. Like that's where I kind of like had it on in the background when they were dealing with all that garbage.
Came from the ether, and you get meat from it.
This movie has such a Copper Mountain effect, man. Like I was like, oh, clearly it's been like an hour already, and nope, 22 minutes.
So real quick, explain to the people what the Copper Mountain effect is for anybody new.
Yeah, so the Copper Mountain effect is when you're watching a movie and it feels like it's been going on for 10,000 years, and clearly it's near the end and then you click on and and it's only been like 15 minutes. You're only like 15 minutes in. It's like the passage of time just like slows and drags.
It feels like it's hours, literal hours longer than it actually is.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt that with this one too.
This had that. I was like, but this is also so much longer than so many RiffTrax releases lately. Like lately, I've said it so many times on the podcast. Is like lately it's been like 71 to like 79 minutes. This was 81 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the original movie was 95 minutes, so I wonder what they cut out of it.
It's fine. We don't need to see 90 minutes of Truth or Dare. Or 90 minutes of Bog. Or 90 minutes of what else? Of Inspector Mom. Oh, I think Inspector Mom was 90 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, Inspector Mom was 90 minutes. But yeah, this was not a good retelling of this story.
Yeah, it was.
There were a lot of exotic cats in this movie. It was a fun
riff. Yeah, I had a fun time.
Oh, this was a great riff.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Any moments that like stand out to you that like maybe we should cover, because just like that. The movie is just so slow and ugly. That's another thing. Let's talk about the look of the movie. We were talking about it a little bit before the podcast, but like this movie, it was like way past the the time frame when biblical epics were like a big thing, like in the 40s and the 50s and like a little bit in the 60s. Like it was in 1984. It was a TV movie, for God's sake.
But it looked like it was filmed in the early 60s.
Yeah, dude, this the film quality of it, I don't know if they just got a bad print, but like it looks like Prisoners of the Lost Universe. It looks really bad.
It is awful.
It is awful. Like the locations, like, okay, so if you look at like the 10 Commandments or anything that's really done by like Cecil B. DeMille, because like he is like the gold standard for like biblical epics.
Yeah.
And like Bible stories in film. Like, it is just, he finds the most gorgeous things you could possibly put onto the screen. This looks like like they went to Egypt and shot the whole movie there. This looks like it was like shot in Oklahoma for $100. It's so just like, it's so gross and ugly. And like, it has people like Max von Sydow and Jose Ferrer and Daniel Stern. Like, these aren't nobody. And they're all just out like in the swamp saying these weird things to each other. It's just like, and you got to think of being like, what are we like? This is so weird. What are we doing? And it's just like, it looks like it was shot like in the 70s. It doesn't look like an 80s movie. It looks like it was shot like in the 70s. This is like way into like the mid 80s. This is like 1984.
Mike in the chat says they really spent a lot of time in that indoor pool, which is kind of gross when you think about it. I liked all the jokes about all the crap floating on top of it. All of the like, I know there were flowers and they're supposed to be pretty or whatever, but it just looked like dead leaves floating in a pool. Like nothing that you would want to like.
Yeah, be like hanging around. It's like this amazing Philistine palace. Which, by the way, I gotta say, like, they look more. They were going more. They really did, for all their failings, for all their failings to do a biblical epic, they really kind of wanted to make this look like the Ten Commandments a little bit, because you can tell just like had a very Egyptian air to it in the Philistine. Yeah, it wasn't that civilization at that time. I don't mean to get like pedantic or anything like that, but you could tell that they were going for like the Ten Commandments, Cleopatra kind of look.
Well, they had a fountain in the thing, like an actual fountain.
Yeah. Like, oh no, yeah, and there was even a joke about that like, oh yes, they're like, oh sure, like that water pump technology there in 1100 BC.
Yeah, I do want to talk about our main actor here for a minute. Before we get too far into the actual movie. So Anthony Hamilton played Samson. He was an English Australian actor. He was a dancer. He started off as a ballet dancer, and his first main role was this movie, Samson and Delilah. And then there was a TV series called Cover Up, which I actually remember this show. Not for anything that happened in the show. The show Cover Up was in the also 84. It started in 1984 and ran for like a year. The guy playing the main character, the original main character, John Eric Hexum, died on set in an accident.
So he's like Victor Morrow.
Yeah, the main reason that I remember this show, though, is because the theme song is Holding Out for a Hero. But it's a cover. Yes, but it's a cover sung by E.G. Daily.
Who?
E.G. Daily, she is the voice, mostly known as the voice of Tommy Pickles and Rugrats and Buttercup on the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, she sang the cover. And that's the only reason I remember that show at all, is because I remember that it had that song for the theme. And then I looked it up.
For a hero? I
looked it up like a year ago because I'm like, all right, there was a show that had it, and I listened to it. It's bad. That's one of my all-time.
Strong, and he's got to be.
I have to put this out there.
It's got to be fresh from the fight, Jeremy.
That is one of my all-time favorite songs. Is Holding Out
for a Hero?
Yes, that is one of my all-time favorite songs. My
He's got to
wife
be larger than life, Jeremy.
Can't stand it. She can't stand it, and I love it. But yeah, so Anthony Hamilton was actually friends with the guy who died, who had the lead in Cover Up. They went to acting school together, so they knew each other. So he died, and then Hamilton took over the role before up until the show got canceled. And then he was almost James Bond after
this kind of blows
Roger
my
Moore. He was in talks to replace Roger Moore as James Bond.
That's got to be like 1985.
Yeah. Reportedly, the producer, Albert Broccoli. I know it's not broccoli, but it looks like broccoli.
Cubby Broccoli. No. That's his name.
Actually broccoli.
Cubby Broccoli. Yeah. Cubby Broccoli.
I thought it was like broccoli or something.
Yeah, because Barbara Broccoli still does it.
Yeah. He wanted to not cast him because in real life, turns out, he was gay. So he's like, I can't have him playing James Bond because he would be acting. Instead, they cast Timothy Dalton. But he ended up being on, guest spots on a bunch of different shows. And up until he died in 1995 from AIDS, which
that's unfortunate.
Is sad. Yeah, it's sad. The last thing he did was Fatal Instinct. But, he was in Howling 4. Interesting.
I heard that. For some reason, I heard that as Fatal Combat. Like he was in... No.
That would have been a real interesting
That would have been amazing if he was in Fatal Combat.
Oh, man. So, yeah.
You don't know the meaning of value.
You don't know the meaning of value.
Cubby Broccoli.
I'd buy that for $1. You don't know the meaning
of value when it comes to your James Bonds.
Right. Oh, man. So, Samson and Delilah was not a very well made for TV
it was a piece
movie.
Of garbage. Are we going to go through our list?
Yeah, the riff though, guys.
The riff is great.
The riff is outstanding. There was some.
It's worth it.
There were a couple of really stupid jokes that I laughed very hard at. Like when they first said his name, Samson, and Kevin's like, "Oh, Samson, like that guy in the Bible." And
yeah, that was great. Well, anytime to make fun of Max von Sydow, I got very excited because the power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now, before we get speaking of the power of Christ, before we get into the list, is that one of the things I did notice is that with biblical epics, things like the Ten Commandments, other things like that, is that it's supposed to like the really good ones are supposed to like spiritually edify you and lift you up and make you feel like like church is supposed to, but oftentimes does not.
Yeah.
But like make you feel closer to God or inspire you that way, spiritually edify you is how I would describe it. I don't think they went for that at all.
No.
Like that element of this movie was missing, and it does and not that like they did it poorly, but like they didn't really talk about God at all.
Yeah, the only time that we really got anything
they mentioned to be like,
was at
well,
the
God
end.
commanded me to go marry this girl, and like that was it.
Yeah, there was the thing at the very end too, where after he got his eyes burnt out with coal, where he somehow stumbled his way up the stairs to the pillars, and like, God give me strength, but that's like it. That's the only other time.
Yeah, no,
like,
that was it. It's unearned. There's like no like crisis of faith or anything like that.
Yeah, and then he crushed himself and Max von Sydow under the temple. And do you think the little guy got away?
Oh, Max von Sydow got crushed by that statue thing.
Yeah, but that was on top of the temple, so I would count that as part of the temple. Yeah. But do you think the little person got away? I didn't know if the little person got away or not. That was my first thought. Because, of course, if you're doing something like this, there has to be a little person involved. He was the guy that Samson was hugging at the end there when he was being trotted out to be executed or whatever. They had a little person leading him, I guess. I don't know if he was leading him out or just walking and holding his hand like a little kid. So I wonder if he made it or not. I didn't notice what happened to him. This is where my brain goes with movies like this. But.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, let's go through our 9 points on this movie. The first one, of course, is plot.
Well, it had one.
And this is our sliding RiffTrax scale. So.
what was the last thing we talked about? What did we even talk about last week?
Demon Island, the Killer Pinata movie.
Well, I mean, if we're comparing it,
that one had a 2.
3.
That one had a 2.
This one's better.
Oh yeah.
That. So 3.
It
sounds high, but
it's mid.
We've been ranking things low. We've been ranking things really low lately.
Yeah. These are out of 5, so it's like right around the middle, just slightly above average.
Yeah.
The acting.
Oh well. Here's the thing. I really love like that Max von Sydow and Jose Ferrer. I really like that like overly dramatic 50s style of acting. I really enjoy it. So and there's some really good actors in this movie. So I'm gonna give it a 4 just based on that, because I don't think we've had really good acting in RiffTrax in a little while.
I don't think the acting is where the faults are in this movie necessarily.
No. I mean, like even Daniel Stern was just like in his stupid frat prank to his buddy, like that was actually acted fairly well. So
yeah. You know what? I'm actually going to. I think I'm going to bring this up. Why not? Let's bring this up. Let's put this up. Since we can do this now, we can have this for everybody to see while we do it. There we go, right there. Boom.
Okay.
All right, so up next we have dialogue.
The dialogue.
The dialogue of this movie.
Well, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like Cecil B. DeMille level, but it also wasn't horrible. I mean, I think we also kind of got to take stuff off for that whole 20 minutes that they were doing that stuff with the garments, or I just completely checked out of the movie. I don't know if that has anything to do with the dialogue. So, but like,
I mean, it does, because
like the dialogue,
you just don't care about what they're
you're talking
saying.
About like going to like get 30 garments for like your platoon or whatever it is. And like, I just don't think that they sold it, and it's not the actor's fault. So, 2. Yeah,
I'm okay with that. All right, now talking about what we touched on earlier, the cinematography.
Dude, this was an ugly movie.
It was a very ugly movie. Did not look good at all. The editing. I think the editing has to take a hit because of it had a severe Copper Mountain effect, particularly early on. Yeah, when they got to the whole 30 garments thing, it was just
the whole 30 garments thing really, really dragged the movie down. So 2.
A 2. That's what I was going to suggest. Effects. Did this really have a lot of effects in it? I mean, we got the lightning in the sky.
The lightning with the ass bone, the jaw of the giant ass.
Yeah,
and all the craziness that was going on there, but it wasn't great. I mean, it had effects. Doesn't mean the effects were good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than like Cats, but I mean, so I don't know.
I think we'll go with 2 on this one.
We gave Cats 0 across the board. So I'm gonna say 1 because like that lightning didn't look good, and that set at the end just was awful. When Samson brought the temple down, like that was not a good set. You could tell like he's just like, it looked like he was pulling down angel food cake. So
sound and music. The sound was awful in this because there was a lot of times where the actors would be down a hallway and they sounded like you were listening to somebody talking down a hallway.
Yes, it sounded like Psychotronic.
It was awful.
Man. Yeah.
It was so bad. I don't really remember much of the music out of it, other than just being.
Well, how many times have we said this on this podcast lately? Is that we don't remember any of the music? I think like at least the last 3 episodes in a row. This will be like 4, or it'll be like we don't remember any of the music. I don't remember any of the music in this. Do you?
And if you don't remember the music, that is not a good sign.
No, it's not.
For the music getting a high rating.
1.
Like if this was Dance and it's on, let's say, the music is up there. We got a song about a guy singing about how he would hold hands with a man and try to be a lesbian to win your love.
Trying to be a lesbian, that's right, yeah.
Like, you remember that. That doesn't go away.
Yeah. Like, that's what he said.
Yeah. All right. How do you rate Lee Phillips' job here as the director?
This director was suck. Like,
I want to see what else he did.
I don't know how you can have these actors and have this result. So I'm gonna say 1. Like, the directing wasn't good. Yeah.
I gotta look at this guy's IMDb page here. I want to see.
I was looking at it a little bit earlier. Like, nothing struck out to me as like particularly like anything that I would recognize.
He did. He directed 1 episode of Diagnosis Murder.
I don't even know what that is. Does that have Dick Van Dyke in it?
Yes, he was like a doctor.
Like it should.
Yeah,
okay.
You're right. It was a CBS show, so yes.
He's still alive. Through. That's amazing.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke, not the director of this.
Yeah.
He directed 2 episodes of MASH.
Oh well, I mean, like, okay, what seasons? Like when was it?
It just says 2 episodes. It doesn't say.
No, but it's important to know. Is he Trapper John MASH, or is it BJ Honeycutt MASH?
I don't know. He directed an episode of the Bill Cosby Show.
Not the Cosby Show, the Bill Cosby Show.
The Bill Cosby Show.
He had a bunch of them, man.
Yeah, this wasn't great.
What's he doing these days?
I don't know. Did he ever get out of jail? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't really care.
He got out of jail.
Whatever. I don't really care what he's doing.
They let him out early.
Screw him. But now this was an important one for us, guys. If you're new here, the character or personality of the film itself. This movie didn't have a lot because it had a lot of big names in it, but they were just there. Like, they were doing their job. They weren't trying to make the best movie they could, or at least it didn't feel that
they were
way.
Just there.
And
the thing is
a big thing for us.
Yeah, I wanted this movie to have a personality, but you look at it, because it's like a biblical epic. That's what it sells itself as. Samson and Delilah, one of the most famous Bible stories there is. I guess, whatever. And like it doesn't deliver, and you look at it and it looks like Prisoners of the Lost Universe. And it has Max von Sydow and Jose Ferrer and Daniel Stern and all these other people in it. And but the thing is, you want it to have a personality.
Yeah, it was.
But the personality it does have is just
aspect.
Like really is like really gross. I think I just came up with an analogy. Is that movies like this that like look like Prisoners of the Lost Universe? They're like the nice fedora. They're like the nice guy version of movies. Like guys on Reddit that wear fedoras and like I don't want to be your boyfriend. I want to be your man friend. Like they're trying to like rise above their station before they're just completely friend zoned at best by like these women that they're stalking online. Or as a kid say, slide into your DMs. That's what these movies are. They're the movie equivalent of the fedora wearing nice guy.
Oh my God, Dave. That's great.
What?
That's perfect. No, that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so just kind of like these grainy, gross Prisoners of the Lost Universe kind of movies. They're that kind of movie. So like, but it doesn't. Like, so I think I'm going to give it. I mean, I'm probably going to watch it again just because like there are some really fun moments in it.
It wasn't an awful experience watching this.
No. But I think I gotta go too, just because like it like it seemed like they wanted to pretend like they were reaching for something, but they weren't. And what we got was just this really gross thing.
Yeah. And then our last question, of course, did the riffs make it watchable / save the movie? Very yes. I put very yes on this one.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, very.
And guys, we don't always say that RiffTrax saves movies. There have been a lot of movies recently that, despite their best efforts, RiffTrax just can't save. We
actually have a list, and it's riffs to never watch again.
Riffs to never watch again, and nothing to do with RiffTrax, but just that the movies are just so awful that's like, no, this gets one and we're done.
Yeah, and I will go through the list real quick for the benefit of people who have never listened before. Of course, the number one is...
Don't let this deter you from, for God's sake, if you want to check these out. Some of these are pretty famous.
Yeah.
But for our money, it's like, no.
The first one, and the one that I forgot that I had done this, but when we went to RiffTrax Live in Nashville, Peter was going down and asking people on video what the worst movie that they've riffed was, and mine came out like last week or the week before that, with no hesitation.
Oh,
Cats.
yeah, you said it immediately.
Cats. He said, "What's the worst movie we've riffed?" And I said, "Cats." Like the instant he finished saying riffed.
But it wasn't just you that said that.
No, there was other people, but Cats is one of these movies that I will never sit through again, even to watch the riff. The riff was so good because this movie needed it, but I just
But the movie was just atrocious. No, not doing it.
The aforementioned Copper Mountain, from where the Copper Mountain effect came in our lexicon. Hobgoblins 2 was just miserable.
I feel bad about.
I do too, but it was miserable.
But
same with the next one. The next one is the one that we both feel the worst about, and that's Baby Ghost.
Yeah.
Cyclone, the one about the people adrift in the ocean.
I always forget that exists. Like I think that one hurt you more than it hurt me. Honestly.
I mean, the whole thing with the dog, and then they like cut the guy up to eat him. And then the Castle of Fu Manchu, which is another one that surprised me because the blood of Fu Manchu was such a good riff.
I think we were both in a really bad mood when we watched that.
I mean, it could be.
I think maybe it doesn't deserve the looking back on it. I think it maybe doesn't deserve that level.
Maybe we'll give it another chance.
We can keep it on the list, but it's just like, I think we were just because I know I in particular was just like, can we be done with this director? I hate all like why are we continuing to watch movies from this guy? They're all just trash. But
because they can probably get him cheap for his whole catalog.
Yeah, they can probably get him super cheap.
Or they probably did get him cheap for the whole catalog, so they're not spending $7.4 million every 12 VODs. God, that's so bad. I'm still just like blown away by the numbers that they come up with. Because it's not that.
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, did you watch this movie on Rift?
No.
I don't think I would either.
I don't think I'd be able to watch it on Rift.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those ones where like I may have left the channel on when it was on whatever, like ABC or whatever showed it, probably on a Saturday afternoon or whatever. I might have turned it on and started to watch it and then just lost interest and walked away from the TV. Maybe left it on, but I would have been in the other room doing something different. What about you, Dave?
I don't think so.
No. That's a pretty easy one for this one.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little harder, but yeah.
Yeah, some of them are maybe, some of them are definite yeses, but this one, no. It's kind of like with Inspector Mom. I would watch that on Rift under very specific circumstances, but this one I don't think I would. Like, it just is anybody I would watch this with would nope out as well. So,
well, it's funny that you bring up Inspector Mom because as we learned when we were looking up that one, that there was another movie in the Inspector Mom series. There was another movie. There was a series, too, a very small, like maybe 8-episode series, I think it was, maybe 10, somewhere on there.
Yeah.
And Bridget and Mary Jo have just riffed the last Mary Higgins Clark movie.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So there's always the potential that we'll get the other Inspector Mom riff, or the other Inspector Mom movie riffed by them. I really hope we do. That was a very enjoyable riff.
Danica McKellar's like, over my dead body. I'm sure that's how I'm sure that's how she sounds. I don't know. I'll do better next time.
But hopefully that happens. I don't know what we're going to be getting this week, because this will be the final release before Halloween. They just released a new short today called Don't Be Afraid.
I got that. I watched it. It was pretty funny.
Which I have not watched yet. I haven't purchased it yet, but I'm going to as soon as we go off the air, because I've got a couple other shorts to get to catch myself back up to having 100% of the shorts. But next Friday is the release of Rad, the RiffTrax Live VOD. November 3rd is when we're supposed to be getting that.
We get that on Blu-ray?
I think so.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they passed that. I hope I'm not getting myself in trouble by actually saying that that's when we're getting Rad, because it hasn't been announced. It's always like 2 months after.
Well, okay, there's a 10,000% chance that no one from RiffTrax is watching us right now, so you're good.
Yeah, I know. That being said, our next episode might have another new riff. If not, we'll probably take a look at some other Halloween-related movie that we have not talked about yet, which I'll have to go back through the master list and find one that we haven't done yet. There are a few
some good candidates.
And because did we talk about Hackoween last year? I don't think we did. Or Hack-O-Lantern or whatever it was. Did you?
I don't remember.
Summarized
it. Yeah.
I know we didn't. I know we didn't do a whole episode about it, but
I don't want to watch it again.
There's some other ones definitely that we can do. And there's a few more that I'm gonna watch just myself. I just watched Mirror Mirror again the other day, which is such a good riff. But we definitely talked about that one. Why do you keep reminding me of riffs
that have completely left my brain?
Right. But yeah, so we'll talk about either something new or a classic Halloween riff next Tuesday. And then the Tuesday following that, Dave and I will pick something out of the catalog. We'll try and come up with a deep cut for you guys, because we don't need to spend another. We don't need to spend another episode talking about Rad as much as I'm gonna want to. I'm gonna be excited about it. I might bring up some stills if I can find myself on camera at all. I know my wife is in the B-roll that they use at the credits, but I was not obviously paying attention to the camera people in the audience. I was watching the show.
Yeah.
So if it's there, I'll show it just to rub it in Dave's face
just
a little
to brag. Because the B-roll that I'm in will never be seen again.
Nope, it's gone.
It is
because you were at Mothra, which is just to be just the jokes. Can't get that word out.
Experience.
Yeah,
but we've talked about that.
But thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. If you want to support us at all, the best thing you can do is give us a follow right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/pbnawesome. You can find me anywhere on the internet. You can go to our Patreon at True Blue Riffcast and drop us a couple dollars a month there if you want to. If not, it's no big deal. We don't really care. Like we've said many, many times before, we just do this because we love RiffTrax and we both like rambling on about stuff that we enjoy. And anything that you do throw our way, it just goes right back into the podcast. We use it for getting other riffs and stuff like that. And anything you want to do to support, share the podcast, leave us a review on one of the whatever platform you listen to us on, and then make sure you send that to us so we actually see it.
So we
and
can
it's not just a weird bot one like the one we read the one time. But that's going to do it for us today. Again, You can find me anywhere online at PB and Awesome. And the podcast is up on X at TB Riffcast.
Oh. You can check me out, Dave. Search me on Amazon and Audible. And also check me out on the Discord, or my Discord, the Dave Chadwick Discord. Things have been popping there. So, yeah, come join us.
Yeah. And make sure you leave a review if you read his book Monkey and talk about how much your mom hates the foul language.
Yeah.
And but that's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you next week right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
Rock till you die.